Hallo, ek is Iti. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. Finally, after what seems like 100 years, we are taking a look at Afrikaans syllables. These are called lettergrepe. Lettergrepe in Afrikaans. I'm going to take you through all of the rules and regulations, and at the end of this video, I will also take you through step by step how to break Afrikaans words up into syllables or lettergrepe. Afrikaans has two lettergrepe. The one is a oop lettergreep, which means open syllable, and it means that that syllable ends with a vowel. And then we have toe lettergreep, which is a closed syllable, and that syllable ends with a consonant. First rule, each syllable may contain only one vowel. Now, it does not mean it may contain only one vowel letter. It means each syllable may contain only one vowel sound. What does that mean? In Afrikaans, we have three different types of vowels. The one is kort klanke, lang klanke, and then we have twee klanke, which is diftonge. Now, I have vowel videos. If you haven't studied all the Afrikaans vowels, go watch my 3 vowel videos, because we have vowels that contain up to 3 letters forming a different sound, forming a different vowel. So this rule refers to a vowel sound, which can contain up to 3 vowel letters. So that's very important to understand that it's not referring to a single vowel letter. Now at the very bottom there, you see a few ending sounds of words, ending syllables. The first one, af, which is a toe lettergreep, then ein, toe lettergreep. Moe, oop lettergreep. Heen, toe lettergreep. And the last one, mew, oop lettergreep. And you will see the last one contains 3 vowel letters, but it forms one sound. So that was what I was referring to. Rule number 2. When you have the sequence vowel, consonant, vowel, split after the first vowel. This is a general rule of thumb for 2-syllable words, and for 3, 4, 5, and 6-syllable words, often when that vowel, consonant, vowel is at the end of the word. But not always. Sometimes it is in fact in the word. So I'll expand on all of this just now. Right, so let's look at the first word. Blare is the plural for the Afrikaans word blaar, which is a leaf. You can see there, you split the word after the first vowel. Bla, and then r is the second syllable. And you have there the A, the R, and then the E is your vowel, consonant, vowel. Now I will explain in a bit why we pronounce that single A as a double A sound. Because in Afrikaans you get 2 A's. It forms a lang klank, which is ah. But we still pronounce the single A in this word as a ah, even though we write it with only one. You might ask why. I will explain shortly. To answer the question, why do we pronounce a single vowel as a lang klank, as 2 of the same vowels like ah and oor, when there's only a single one written in a word? So, case number 1, in the case of nouns, if the singular form of the word has a lang klank, for instance 2 A's, and you pronounce it ah, like blaar, then the plural will also be pronounced the same way, even though it only contains a single A. So blaar, blare. The second case is adjectives. You have the word naar, which is nare. You have the attributive and predicative forms, and then you have raar and rare, and there are many others. And this is the same principle if in the one form it has double A or double O and you pronounce it as a long sound. Then in the form where it only has one of those vowels, you will still pronounce it as that lang klank. And then thirdly, as a general rule of thumb, words that end with vowel, consonant, vowel. There you will pronounce the single vowels as langklanke. For instance, one will be ear, and one o will be oor. So watch the vowel videos if you haven't. So we have the blare, skade, nare, verloren, oorlede, and then we have motor. Now, when you can see there is, or motor, it's not at the end of the word, it's in the word, but it's still vowel, consonant, vowel in the middle of the word. So you pronounce that first vowel as a long sound. Motor or motor. Teemiddag. So the first E there is long, and the second one is not. Teemiddag. Because now you will think, well, the second vowel, right, the middle vowel, is also vowel, consonant, vowel if you look at E-R-I before the G at the end of the word. So why isn't it teemiddag? I don't know, it doesn't work that way. It's teemiddag, the first one there. I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. Then the next word is geesel. Geesel, which is to whoop, basically is. And then we have bedel, which is to beg. And then the next one is not vergeesel. It is in fact vergesel, which is to accompany. Vergesel. Gleuwe. And the last one, tafel. Usually when it's an EL at the end, and you have a consonant just before that, and then another single vowel, it's definitely going to be a long vowel, like tafel. So, let's just continue. Rule number 3. When a single letter vowel is followed by two of the same consonants, you split the two consonants, and there will be one of each in a syllable. Now, in the case of this single vowel followed by two of the same consonants, that single vowel is pronounced as it phonetically should be pronounced. It's a short sound. So the a is a a, an e will be an e, a o will be an o, as they should be, a is a a. That is when it is before those two, the vowel before those double consonants. And they must be the same consonants, right? It is in the case of the same consonants. Then it will finally be pronounced as it should, as a short sound. So we have damme, dam, and not dame, damme. But when we pronounce the word damme, we do not pronounce the M when we speak. We don't pronounce damme. When we speak, we usually just pronounce one M, damme, damme, damme. So it's not there's no two M's in the actual pronunciation, but that A is a short one, as it should be. Then we have gevallen, rove, dove, and love. Rule number 4. When two vowels are next to each other, split between the two vowels. And again, it's important to note, this is specifically when two vowel sounds are next to each other. You split between the two vowel sounds. So you can have a 3-letter vowel next to a single vowel. You have to split between the 3 and the single letter vowel. So you have to know your Afrikaans vowels so that you know where to split them, which one should be where, right? So it's going to be a vowel in each syllable. And if the word then ends on a vowel, and it had another vowel just before it, there will be a vowel in the last syllable. Like in draai, draaie. That last E is in its own syllable, because I is a vowel unto itself. So it is in the first one. Goeie. Oei is a vowel, and so is e. Beëindig. Now, in the case of that doitjie, when you have those two doitjies on either a O or a E or a I in Afrikaans, you split that doikie vowel into the second syllable. So you'll chop it between whatever is before it and the doikie vowel. Right, so then we have b, and you chop the word ein, chop the word dig. And then we again have b, chop it, in, chop it, druk, beïndruk. And then we have vroeger, which is earlier. This is always a difficult one because even Afrikaans speakers struggle to spell this word. We often leave out one E, and then we say vroeger. But it's vroeg, the sound oo, and then it has a doikie E as well. So it's vroeger when you pronounce it. You split it between the oo and that doikie E. And then the last one is koue, which is cold, the cold. So O is a vowel, and then you've got E, which is also a vowel. Rule number 5. A single syllable word forms a syllable. What does that mean? It means a word that only has one syllable, when it is in another word, it forms a syllable. That word becomes a syllable in the other word. So if you have a pre-existing word within a larger word, the pre-existing word will be one of the syllables. I will show you exactly what I mean shortly. So some words can be divided into smaller, meaningful, and existing words. Step by step, syllabicate. Right. So your first step, when you divide Afrikaans word into lettergrepe, you will look for the pre-existing smaller words first. So when you get a big word, or any word really, you're going to check, can this word be divided into, or can you see an existing word, a meaningful real word, inside the larger word? And then you will put that one into a syllable, and there'll be another syllable before it, or there will be a syllable before it and after it. And the stuff that comes before and after can even be divided into more syllables, depending on how large the word is. So look for the existing words first. And then if no existing words, you divide that word into the lettergrepe as the rules that we've spoken about. If yes, and you can in fact find a pre-existing word, then you continue. You first chop it up before and after the pre-existing word. Sometimes there are multiple words within a word that has meaning. So you just divide before and after each one of those. If they are next to each other, you'll just divide between them, and then before the last one, or after the last one and before the first one. And then you syllabicate what is left per the rules if they don't have meaning, right? So then you have to look at the letters and how they follow each other. So we've spoken about multiple words within a word. All right, so let's take a look at the examples. The first word there, afvallig. Now that one can simply be divided into meaningful words. The first one is af, means down. The next one, val, which means fall. And the last one, lig, which means light. And that one's simple. The next one, wisselvallig. You look at the end of the word, you have val again, which is a word, and lig. And the first part of the word, wissel, you can syllabicate according to that rule that says that double consonant that's the same should be divided in between the double consonant. So then you have wis, sil, val, lig. Now the word wis is used in Afrikaans saying that die wis and die onwis. So technically it is a word. But it doesn't matter. The syllabication of that word will be the same irrespective of whether you see it as a word or you just divide it between the double consonants. The next one, toevallig. Again, toe is closed, so it's a word. Val is a word, and lig is a word, as we've said before, so simple. Then we have bloeddorstig, which is bloodthirsty. Bloed is blood, it's a word. Dor is actually like very dry, like a drought, like completely parched. and then stig, which is to establish, or that's just all that's left. Either way, it's the last syllable. Word number 5, senuweeagtig. Senuweeagtig. Now, that is nervous. There's one word in there, which is ach. So you start with that one. Ach is 8, the number 8. Or ach is a verb. It has few meanings, but it's a word. So you start with ach, and it's easy. The next syllable after it will be tig. That's what's left. And then you have to syllabicate what comes before it. So you have just before it the consonant with a long clunk, weer, so that becomes a syllable. And then what's left before that is seer nie. Seer nie. And there you divide, because it is a consonant, a vowel, consonant, vowel combination. So you have to divide after the first consonant. And you pronounce that first one as a double E. Seer nie. Weeragtig. So that's quite a mouthful. The next one is verteenwoordig. So dig at the very end is a word. So dig can be by itself. And then teen is also a word. It's against. So teen is also a word. So then it's easy because woer is not a word, but it's in between those two that does have meaning, so it's a syllable. And it's a vowel, one vowel, so it's a syllable. And then vir is the other syllable. Vir, usually when you have vir in a word, it's going to be a syllable. So that's, if you see vir, it's a syllable. Then we have bemoedig. Again, dig, syllable. And then the first two, you simply divide that into the consonant vowel and then the other consonant with its vowel, because you can only have one vowel per syllable. Right, and then we have verouderde. What I mentioned before, vir is going to be a syllable. O is a guy. It's also, sometimes we use it to refer to old. So it's a word, so vir and o, 2 syllables. What you are left with is derde, technically. And then you divide that one into 2. Dar, de, because you can only have one consonant per syllable. And then the last one is vir again, verbouwereerd. So vir, syllable. Bou is to build, and also you can't have 2 vowels in a syllable, so you have to divide between o and e. Verbou, that e is a syllable, just the vowel. And then the last one is reerd. That's the last part. I must honestly say, it feels like so many things have gone unanswered in this video. There are some reasons why you split a word, where you split the word, that I feel like I haven't properly explained, and I also feel like I don't really know why. It's one of those things where you grow up speaking the language and then you can't find a concrete rule on paper as to why it is how it is, but it just is that way. It's one of those things. So if you have questions about the syllabication of Afrikaans words that I haven't answered or that's still not clear, please tell me in the comment section and I can make a second video or a third. I'll attempt to answer it if I haven't done so. And then at the very bottom of the screen, there is a website called Gezellig. So it's www.gezellig.co.za. Many of the words, Afrikaans words, are on there, most of them. And you can usually find there, if it's nouns, the plural and the syllabication and examples of how to use it in a sentence, the English translation for it, synonyms, antonyms. It's a really nice place to go look up words. And it's mostly correct. Sometimes there's a little mistake here and there. But it's actually a very great website. So it's free and I can recommend it. I think it'll help you a lot if you have questions about some of the stuff about the Afrikaans words. So, I hope this helped. I'm sorry it took this long for me to make it. This has been a wild 2 weeks. I just thought winter is gonna be calm and easy and so less busy, but I was wrong. It is less busy, but it seems like when the one thing's less, other things are more. But anyway, I'm going to try and make a few more videos before the summer is back. Have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video.